Hey everybody, it's been a while since we put a Philippians video together. We're going to be wrapping up chapter 2 today. I just want to thank Andrew and Casey for the devotionals they put together this last week while we were busy entertaining and whatnot. And just what a great job they've been doing, really serving you guys and serving the rest of the church, working with the youth. We just got back last night from Colorado with Jordan and Darcy, checking out Colorado Christian University in Ravencrest. For any high school students who are wondering about what you may have, ahead of you as far as opportunities outside of high school, there are some wonderful opportunities down there at Bible schools, and then also for service while you're there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and go ahead and ask Elise and I as well, and we can give you a kind of a synopsis of how the trip went. We're going to wrap up again here, chapter 2 of Philippians, and our verses are 28 through 30. I am the more eager to send him, therefore, that you may rejoice in seeing him again, and that I may be less anxious. So receive him in the Lord with all joy, and honor such men, for he nearly died for the work of Christ, risking his life to complete what was lacking in your service to me. Now, who is that him or he there? If we look back the last few verses, it's referring to Epaphroditus, the guy who is carrying this letter back to the church of Philippi, which is where he's from. He was basically sent with a care package financially to Paul because Paul was under house arrest. And while he was there, he became very sick and nearly died. But God saw it fit to spare him. Paul, when he says that he was anxious, it was in referring to them worrying for Epaphroditus. It shows that this church really cared about their guy that they sent out there. It wasn't just like, hey, we have this other ministry thing we do, and they kind of do their own thing. Word had gotten to Paul that they were very concerned. If you look in the verses prior that we've already studied together, you can even go back and watch the videos and talk about that a little bit. There is legitimate love and concern for Epaphroditus and for Paul. And so he wants to alleviate their fear so that they don't, maybe, we don't know for sure, but maybe so that they don't try to send someone else, because they are a poor community and it would cost a lot of money to send someone out by ship to go and meet with and make sure that Epaphroditus is okay. So he's thankful that he's able to send him out, and thankful that they can rejoice and be joyful that Epaphroditus is okay and that he made it home safe. He tells them in 26 to receive him in the Lord with all joy and honor such men because of what he did for Christ. It's easy thing to do when someone does something wonderful, like really serves in the church, puts a lot of effort behind it. It's easy to say, hey, yeah, good job, and then move on, and not give them any form of congratulatory reward, like going beyond just saying, hey, good job, or hey, that was a nice word, pastor, to really serving them. Part of the reasons why that may be could be that it's an issue of pride for us. Maybe we're like, well, they got to do that and I didn't, or maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't really agree with everything they did. Or maybe you're afraid that you're going to make it look like you're groveling over them or whatever. Paul says here that when someone gives or sacrifices to serve Christ, we're to honor them, and to in doing that, in honoring them, we're, as it says in 29, receive him in the Lord with all joy, honoring. It's for the Lord. It's honoring what God did through this person. And you can honor the person in that as well, by serving them and showing appreciation and gratitude. It shows humility on your part. It also validates for them that their work wasn't just between them and the Lord, but then also for the whole church, and that the church appreciates what's being done. And it's very encouraging as we move into this new season at C3, and then also as we're growing together at C3 Generation. There are people who are really serving and really putting a lot of effort forward. It'd be easy to just let them do that, and from time to time be like, hey, wow, that was cool. But what would be even better is if you come alongside and really encourage them. Hey, how can I help? You know, what you're doing, that's just such a huge sacrifice. Can I pray with you? Can I pray for you? You'll encourage them, and they will be able to serve much. They'll be able to serve much, much longer than they would have without your support and without your love. Um, and it really helps them live in joy through their service, even though there may be some suffering involved. You know, either financially or for you guys, if you want to, there's some opportunities coming up over the next few months to serve. You know, even just watching kids for a couple people for different ministry things, coming alongside and saying, hey, you know, what you did was really cool. You really encouraged them to go and move further. We have this harvest party coming up on Halloween night. Some of you live out of town and your families are doing other things those nights. It'd be very easy to just sit aside and be like, yeah, that's what they're doing. Or you could come alongside and say, hey, what you're doing, that's amazing. That's great. How can I pray for you? When it's over, you know, ask them. So tell me about what went on. What did God do? Um, what did God use you to do that night? How can I pray for you after this? You know, you're such a blessing to the youth group in that you're able to serve and that you desire to serve. Instead of just letting them, you know, get burnt out, not knowing that someone actually cares. So it's very important that we do that. And Paul kind of speaks to that at the end there, at the end of verse 30. He says, risking his life to complete what was lacking in your service to me. What was lacking from the Philippians? They had given like a lot of their resources to Paul, but the one thing that they couldn't do was fellowship. Um, and that's one thing that you can really encourage someone with is fellowship. And that's what Epaphroditus did for Paul. He stayed there with him when he didn't need to. But then uh, Paul is saying when he comes back, honor him for doing that. And one of the easiest ways to really honor and serve someone is to do the very same thing for them that they do for other people. Because maybe that's not done for them um, regularly, or maybe that's, you know, something that because they're doing it for so many other people, they don't have the time to do it themselves. If there's someone who's always making meals for another family, or if there's someone who's always cleaning up after youth group, or if there's someone who's just serving in a certain way, ask them if you can do that for them. It's a huge blessing and a huge encouragement, and shows love and also promotes joy and unity within the group. Hope you have a great day. Um, we will be continuing on into chapter 2, or sorry, into chapter 3, starting tomorrow. Someone's phone is going on. Anyway,